Non più tra I farfalloni amoroso, notte e giorno di torno girano, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Addoncino d'amor, delle belle turbando al riposo.
Pronto, come sta? Welcome to the Italian episode. So glad you could join me today. We are making breakfast, lunch, and dinner inspired by Italian dishes. Now, I love pizza. So first up is going to be a pizza frittata. Egg whites, of course, but you could use regular, substitute for regular eggs. So let's get started. The first thing we'll need to do is make the base. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm actually measuring this because I'm going to plug it into my app. So this is where you want to pull out your dozen eggs or your egg whites. I'm using Bob Evans egg whites. So the first thing we want is the crust, so to speak. This is going to be the egg crust. So let's I'll tell you how many grams I'm putting in. I'm going to put 400 grams, and this is a 9-inch pie pan, just regular pie pan. And then in the base, I'm going to also go ahead and put sliced mushrooms, about 2 cups. It's about 160 grams. And then we want some Italian seasoning. Just however much you think you might like. And then give it a little stir. Okay, and then this is going to go in the oven, 375 for about 10 minutes. You just want it to be kind of firm to the touch. And then that's when we're going to put the rest of the pizza ingredients. We're going to put a marinara sauce that you like, turkey pepperoni, and a little bit of part skim mozzarella. Okay, the base for our pizza frittata is all done. It did bake for about 20 minutes. And as you can see, it's firm. So let's go ahead. I am using fat-free marinara sauce. So that's what you want to put on there first. And I am measuring. And I'm going to try to get about 8 servings out of this. So I'm just going to put enough on there to where I feel like it's enough. Okay, that looks perfect. That was 230 grams. And the next step, I'm going to put a little more Italian seasoning. Okay, now for the cheese. I am using that part skim mozzarella. And again, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it to see what looks good. I am measuring this, weighing it out. Okay, that looks like 60 grams. So about a cup. Okay, and for the pepperoni, I am using that reduced fat turkey pepperoni. Okay, 45 grams. And then this is going to go back in the oven. I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to put this in, raise the temperature a little. It's going in for just about 10 minutes, but I'm going to raise it to I'm going to try it at 400. I want the pepperoni to be kind of crisp. So you could also maybe try it under the broiler. I've never tried that before. So another 10 minutes, at least 400 degrees. And I just wanted to show you how the pizza frittata turned out. How beautiful is that? I think this is going to be a regular in your kitchen. My kitchen smells like a pizzeria. And to just think this is going to be my breakfast. Amazing. And this is the delicious pizza frittata for breakfast. Give it a try. It's like having pizza for breakfast. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so lunch today is going to be something that's very Mediterranean, very Italian. It is, you might find this also in Greece. It is a flatbread, but I'm sure they make their own dough. I am doing some shortcuts and still kind of having the same flavor profile. I found I loved these Joseph lavash. One flatbread, and this is big. So this is gonna almost turn into like a pizza. This is what I'm having for lunch. This is a lavash flatbread, and one of them only has 100 calories. So that's pretty good. So you could even cut it in half for lunch and maybe do a whole one for dinner. It's your choice. But this is going to be a Mediterranean flavor profile. I'm using feta, basil, olives, red onions, a little bit of mushroom. I'm going to drizzle some balsamic vinegar at the end. Just stick around. I cannot wait to try these. I've never tried these before, but they look amazing. So that's the multi-grain Joseph's lavash bread, and I'm going to make 2 of them. So you can see how big they are. Okay. And you can really put any topping. You could do a traditional. The first thing you'll want to do if you're going to make this recipe, I took a red onion, about 3/4 of a small red onion, and I'm going to have a really fun time cleaning this pan, but I caramelized it. And I threw in about half a cup of just any mushrooms that you might have. So you want to just cook this down. I didn't cook it with any oil or anything. And I'm going to spread this out on each one of these. That should make about 2 flatbreads. Or if you get the smaller Joseph's pita, that'll probably make about 4. Okay. I'm just kind of getting this even, best that I can. And you could make more if you want a little bit more. This is more like a bread, more almost like a snack or a light lunch. You know, serve it with a side salad or a cup of carrots or some fruit. Okay, now this is where I'm going to weigh the feta and olives. Let's go ahead and put the olives on. Just using a nice Kalamata olive. Okay, and then the feta. You could use fat-free, or you could use a reduced fat. I am just using regular feta. Okay, about 43 grams. Okay, I'm going to top it with basil. Okay, and I'm going to bake this 425 for about 10-15 minutes. I want it to just kind of get brown. We'll go from there. So the olive, feta, onion flatbreads are done, and it cooked on 425 for about 15 minutes, and this is what they look like. And I'm going to use a pizza cutter and go ahead and cut them, probably into about 4 pieces. Okay, and then what you're going to want to do is use a nice thick balsamic vinegar. And you want to just barely drizzle. I'm so excited about dinner. Dinner tonight is manicotti. However, you are going to be witnessing an experiment. I'm using regular manicotti shells. They look like this. Now here's the thing. They make pasta. It's called oven-ready pasta. You don't have to cook it first. It will soften when you cook it. I am going to push the envelope. And again, this is an experiment, so I will be brutally honest if it doesn't work. This is not oven-ready manicotti. It's just regular manicotti. I am going to try to not pre-cook it. And the reason that I'm going to try to stuff it without cooking it, if you consider this a noodle, how soft it gets and how easily it tears, how hard it might be when you got this rubbery piece of pasta, how hard it would be to fill this up. So that's why I'm going to try to see if it'll soften enough. I'm gonna put a lot of sauce on it. So we're gonna fill these with a ricotta parmesan garlic mixture. And I'm gonna top it. Use whatever your favorite pasta sauce is. I have never tried this before either, but I'm gonna give it a try. It sounded amazing. I got it from Whole Foods. It is Tuscany pumpkin with San Marzano tomatoes. And it's like a pumpkin tomato base. It's not the best on calories, 90 calories per half cup, but I'm putting it all into my food app, so we'll see. I'm gonna probably have 2 of these stuffed as 1 serving, and I'll serve it with a side salad. So you'll still feel like you've had an indulgence without all the calories. So let's get started on my experiment. First thing we're gonna do is make the filling. I have about 1.5 cups of low fat. Now ricotta cheese has a lot of fat, so I am using 1.5 cups of low fat ricotta. I got this from Kroger. And I have my food scale here, so I'm going to be weighing this, especially when you're dealing with pasta or meats, sausage. Try to weigh this out because this is where you can go south. So indulge, but know how much your serving is and what you're getting into. Okay, so I've got 1.5 cups of the low fat ricotta. And I'm kind of writing this down as I go along. And then I'm going to use a total of 4 garlic cloves. Okay, so I've got 1.5 cups of low fat ricotta. Now I have 2 garlic cloves that I'm going to put in the sauce, and then 2 garlic cloves that I'm going to put in the ricotta mixture. So actually, let me go ahead and measure the egg. Putting about a cup and a quarter of egg white. I'll probably put a little bit on top, but that's 35 grams of Parmesan. 2 garlic cloves. Okay, I'm gonna give this a really good stir. Oh, and a pinch of nutmeg. A little pinch of nutmeg just kind of livens up your cheesy mixtures. I even put nutmeg in the lasagna. You could take your shells and just spoon the mixture in. You want to make sure you have enough for all the but I think I'm going to go ahead and pipe it in. So you don't need anything special. I'm just using a Ziploc bag. Before I put the manicotti, I'm going to go ahead and put some of the sauce. Okay, I'm just going to put a small layer of the sauce. It's kind of a bed for this to lay in. Okay. And then I'm just kind of twisting this. We'll see how this works. I'll put my shell that's already been filled in here. Okay, and I'm just going to tip one of the ends. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to put 2 more cloves of garlic. I have 1 can of no salt tomatoes. You could also use fresh. And at this point, if you wanted to, you could also put mushrooms. I have about a cup of parsley chopped up and a cup of basil. I'm going to use half of it and then I'll top the other half when I'm done. Just kind of liven it up a little. I also have some Italian seasoning. I'm going to be generous with that. Okay, and then I'm going to put the rest of the sauce over it. Making sure all of them's coated, especially since I didn't cook them. Okay, I'm going to bake this in the oven at 375 for about an hour. And the manicotti has been in the oven. Now I did put a piece of foil on it to try to keep some of the moisture in there. They did soften up. I'll let you know when we go to taste this, but I'm thinking you might not have to pre-cook this ahead of time. Now I did add a little bit of water. Because I used such a large dish, I had to put a little bit of water because you wanted to make sure that this was covered. So now what I'm going to do is put about a cup of mozzarella. And then I'm going to top it with some basil. And I'll probably stick this back in the oven for about 10 minutes. And I will show you a picture when this is all done. You can leave it uncovered, put it in. So I just wanted to thank you for taking this Italian journey with me. I hope I've inspired you to cook something Italian tonight or for breakfast tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the pictures and I'll let you know how it tastes. I'll put a little note in there on if you can really go without pre-cooking your noodles. So have a great week. Thanks for watching. Ciao bella.
Narcisetto Adolcino d'amor, delle belle turbando al riposo, Narcisetto Adolcino d'amor.